Parents and other community members losing power over their kids' education and what happens to their schools. Some are closing or undergoing major changes despite strong opposition. And Allison Novak at 7 days. With around 50 Vermont schools with fewer than 100 students, more communities might find themselves in this school fight as the state overhauls our education system.
Yeah, so one of the kind of major components of the education reform that's on the table right now is redistricting to create larger school districts. And a lot of people fear that if larger school districts are created, it's going to lead to the closure of small schools. Like you said, there's quite a few small schools in Vermont. And so in the article that I wrote for this week, I looked at a couple of such small schools: Roxbury Village School, which closed last year, Westford Elementary School, where there's a proposal, well, actually it's happening. The 6th, 7th, and 8th graders are going to be moved to Essex Middle School next year. And Doty, which is the elementary school in Worcester, which is going to be losing its 5th and 6th grade to make room for a child care center. And both community members in both Westford and in Worcester feel like if they lose students and they're already small schools, that's going to be kind of the first step in the closure of those schools.
Yeah, families, as you know, they're accustomed to having a say in their kids' education in Vermont, and they're protective of their schools. But do school boards really have a choice here?
So I think school boards are in a really difficult place right now, but I think what it comes down to is the process for making change. And so this idea of whether change is being made to communities or like with communities. And so I think, you know, people want a seat at the table. They want to feel like they have a say in decisions that will impact their students. And so I think part of it is creating like a deliberative process in which people who are going to be affected by the change really feel like they have a voice.
We've reported on the longer bus rides for students when schools close and the controversy around that. What are some of the other arguments for keeping schools open?
So I think if rural communities lose their schools, which, you know, in many cases are the main gathering parts in those communities, well, families really want to move into those communities. And I think one of the biggest conundrums right now is we're trying to create education reform in order to lower property taxes to ostensibly make Vermont more attractive to families. But if we, in the process, close small schools, will families really want to move into those communities? So I think there's a real kind of issue, a real conundrum right now about how to actually attract families to Vermont.
Yeah, your story's out in 7 days, Allison Novak. Thank you very much. Be well.
Thank you.